Magfest. Practice. I'm going to be doing another practice run of my speedrun here. With a little bit of overhead to make sure that I've got my instruments ready to go. I've got my microphone plugged in. I've got my game installed. I've got my other elements at hand. Most importantly, I've got my butterfly shades on. They are critical infrastructure for beating our favorite resource managing fairy city simulator. I'm going to launch up the game just so that we can get, first off, a feel for the audio levels. If you want to test out the mix, then I can go into a sub menu here. There we go. And load up Chess Invaders, which would be our sort of volume check. And honestly, not a bad idea to have the volume a little bit louder. I don't really know what speech they're talking about. I sort of would have assumed it would be the song with the vocals at the end, but maybe not. What volume are we at? Okay, that's too loud. Yeah, I would probably turn that down in game, just for my own sake. And I'm used to playing it with with everything fairly low. But you know, there will be someone on the board to be able to tweak that. But anyway, before we start the speedrun, it's recommended to launch a fairy village, just a random one, to load in all the assets that the game will be using, and then we will have the faster startup once we hit go. That way we don't have to deal with like trying to time it for when the fade in stops or whatever. I'm gonna call this one round 9. Yeehaw! So we're going to the thriving fairy village of round 9. Yeehaw! If you're not necessarily intrigued by whatever the hell this game seems to be, hang around a few minutes. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. With no further ado, I'm gonna say 3, 2, 1. Wait. I'll try not to do that in person, but I gotta share it on Discord here. Is this the... Where's the game? Come on. Come on, start the game. There it is. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go! So right off the bat, I'm seeing some crystals underground. We're going to be trying to dig for those so that we can have some crystals so we can build a second prism. The prism is going to be used to harvest sunlight, which will allow us to shoot more of those fireworks. Build a torch. Alright, we're doing pretty good. Prism placement's getting pretty decent here. Actually, I'll put that there. I'll cut you down, and we'll cut you down. Okay, now we're making headway. So, the fireworks here we're going to use to shoot down and sort of dig into this cave system, which is where we'll get to the all symbols category that we'll be running here today. And any % run of Glittermitten Grove is you try to get the highest tier of message that you get from your fairy pal Titania, where she says, "Oh, you've created the fairy capital of 50, a city with 50 fairies in it." But right now, what we're doing, instead of the usual gameplay of cutting down trees, putting up all these buildings, putting up pantries and woodsheds and all the stuff to store our resources, what we're going to be doing is digging about 4.5 torch depths here, because that is where we will get to the symbols, and I will explain what the symbols are once they start becoming relevant. But I'll tell them, okay, we got to stop generating wood and crystals. Don't need any of that stuff. We got enough for the torches we're making. And we can keep on stealing the fairies' food to do this cast light spell. And we got pretty good stuff there. There we go. Nice. Titania is named after the fairy queen from Midsummer Night's Dream. Good old Shakespeare. Shout out. You know. Our guy. Come on. Finish building the torch. There's a lot of other stuff in this game. There's different rules. You can build a palace, which I think doubles the rate at which new fairies appear in the town. Oh, that's weird. Alright, sure. Oh, right, yeah. Hey, I'm Mike. This is a speedrun of Text World, all symbols. Text World is a game based on ZZT. Hang on, this guy doesn't want to let us through if we don't have a sword. So we gotta find a sword so we can get past him. He's kind of like Mido from Ocarina of Time, you know. I picked up the autocorrect skates, which mean that if you run into a wall, then it'll automatically turn you. And they make movement a lot easier, a lot faster, but it can get a little bit slippery. So if I randomly decide to turn around a corner, then there's your explanation. There we go. Nice. And this guy doesn't want to let us through over here if we don't have a sword, so we got to go find a sword so we can get past him. I have used the red key I got. There's a punch yourself button, which we use to reset to whatever spot we entered the screen. Hey everybody, I'm Mike. This game's going to be called Toaster Derivatives. We're doing a speedrun of it. It's sort of a, I don't know, cookie clicker idle game mixed with Flappy Bird. You add stuff to a toaster, makes it run hot, makes it fly higher. The flying toaster is based on a wallpaper pack for like Windows 95 or something. And you can't actually buy that antimatter at the bottom because once you hit 1,000 degrees, you hit the ceiling and your toaster dies. And you might be wondering what the hell's happened to our cute little fairy village of Round 9ville. There was a game for web browsers called Frog Fractions. I'm going just into some deep lore here now. Frog Fractions. You're a frog, you're on a lily pad, you eat bugs, fractions appear. They don't mean anything, it's not educational. You eventually can buy some upgrades, turn your lily pad into a turtle, turn that into a dragon, fly into space, wind up in a Star Fox style shootout against a bunch of bugs, and then wind up on trial for your crimes against bug kind on Bug Mars. Eventually you become the president of Bug Mars through a series of just all sorts of shenanigans. And it just goes off the rails, a bunch of strange minigames in different genres, and people liked it, and so the creators decided to do a Kickstarter for a sequel. But they wanted to turn it into a whole ARG thing, you know, alternate reality game, secrets being hidden all over the world, just everyone gets together to try and solve this puzzle. And the devs said, hey, we will not tell you when or where Frog Fractions 2 comes out. So is this Frog Fractions 2? We'll see. We're going to show this guy our sword finally so we can get past him. There we go. We'll show it to him another couple of times there just for good measure. And now we're heading to the beach. We got to kill this gorilla here. This overworld based on DOS game ZZT. A lot of the enemy types and stuff are ripped straight from there, or from concepts in that. Though this screen, it's got some cockroaches. Titania's still there. She was off getting a sandwich. This screen is based on a game called NetHack, which is an offshoot of a game called Hack. We got our sword here, but the sword will collide with walls, and we can only rotate it, you know, an eighth of a turn at a time. So it's a bit finicky to maneuver with. We're getting to our next minigame, Spaxverse, but first we got to prove our age. So we got to enter our age, and then answer a bunch of trivia questions. Unfortunately, the trivia questions. Uh-oh. See, I'm actually not the age that I said I was. There we go. Okay. I've only got the trivia questions memorized up to 20-something. And even then, I'm not great at it. There we go. So now we're in our next minigame, Spaxverse, which is super passive-aggressive xenomorph roommate irritation simulator, wherein we are roommates with an alien from Aliens. We are a space marine, and our lease renewal is coming up, and we want to make sure that this guy moves out before our lease gets renewed, because we're kind of not a good person in this game, frankly. And we got him to move out. So now we are back on here. We're back in the overworld. We don't have our sword right now. And this screen is a reference to the original Legend of Zelda. The dungeons all had this sort of layout and entry screen, and now it's nighttime. We're going to be coming across all these guards. We call this section Cop Heck. I'm going to pick up a grenade soon and start throwing it at them. Oh wait, whoops, sorry. It's not a grenade, it's a pear. These are just pears. But they still splat on the wall, which is enough of a distraction to get them to check them out. And we did not get good RNG. We are getting really rough RNG. Come on, get out of here. All right, cool. Splat the wall early. to get that guard to start coming up here so he'll pick us up earlier, because this one we need to go to jail so we can get onto this next screen. And I've picked up a couple of these symbols that are actually part of the all symbols run. There is actually a category that I'm playing through here that is not the any percent just beat the game category. This one, we're collecting all these different symbols. And the first copy of them, there are 2 copies of each of these little characters in the game, these symbols that you can collect. The first one is yellow, then you collect these, then the second one turns into this purplish pink. And when you collect the pink ones, no, that's problematic. That's troublesome. Nah! Dang it. My queen got it. Alright, there you go. Get rid of you early. This game is Chess Invaders. It's an active time battle chess simulation. You can move as many pieces at a time as you want. They all have a cooldown between their movements. And I am not good at chess. So, So if there are any donations or information about incentives, now would be a phenomenal time for that to be introduced and spoken about for our lovely viewers at home. But if not, I can keep on yammering. So Frog Fractions 2 was an ARG. The devs, set up a bunch of weird things. There was like a playlist where a guy was reviewing soup. There was directions to a hacked Luigi amiibo that was buried in the woods somewhere, and people found it, and inside of its IR or whatever the chip in there, it had information about accessing a website that was related to all this stuff. And just all sorts of ridiculous things going on with this. Someone got mailed a giant crate with Cyrillic writing on it in blacklight ink. And this went on for a few years with Chess Invaders here. It's about a 1.5 minute auto scroller, sort of. Like it's got a set time amount. You've got to make sure to survive. You've got to make sure your king doesn't get eaten. But the secondary goal is to make sure you've got a vertically moving piece on the left side, because that's where the item spawns in that we've just collected. There we go. Put it down. It's the bridge from the Atari game Adventure. And we got to get past these centipedes to get into the key gen, which, as all good key gens, it plays a sweet chiptune. And now we are doing some save and quit strats, getting back to the starting cave so we don't have to do a bunch of backtracking. We're using our bridge, we're picking up some gems, and we are going back to this screen. So I'm going to keep on picking up these symbols. And when you pick up the pink version of each symbol, you get something called a corn story, and you'll hear what that is in a few minutes. I've got picked up enough gems to max out my wallet here, because there's going to be a room with gravity in it. What's Titania got to say? Talking about the obsolete form of currency that I'm picking up. Great. There's going to be a room with gravity coming up, and there's a bridge made out of gems. If I don't have a maxed out wallet, I'll fall through them and collect them. We've got to get an orange key, so what I'm going to do is knock over this paint can and fall into it, which paints all of our keys orange. Now the game's recorded that I've had an orange key in my inventory at some point. And so why did that happen? Why was there a lag? Very strange. Huh. Anyway, you also don't want to enter the cathedral here on the bottom floor, because then you'll pick up that green key and you can't get across the bridge that's the keys. What instrument are we doing? We're doing kazoo? Okay, cool. Delightful. All right. Return to text world. We've got our piece. We got our item. We are gonna get this green key because we eventually will need it, and we're gonna reset here. So we're picking up our bridge. We're doing this shortcut again. We still haven't heard any corn stories. We'll hear them soon enough. And the routing on this game got pretty interesting. There's gonna be an item later that's a time machine that lets you well, there is a time element of the game, but it's more importantly a space traveling machine. It can warp you from screen to screen, and there are also all these warps and stuff. All right, cool. Anyway, we're in the next minigame. Oh, these purple gorillas were imported from Chilkina to populate the Gorilla Grove, but they broke loose and now they're all over the shop. Delightful. There's a lot of fun writing in this game and cute little bits about the universe. This game is Loma Manager. Ooh, A is good. Okay, good. Which is Lord Management Manager. Lord Management being an old term for the MOBA genre of games. So Dota, League of Legends, stuff like that. And so in this game, you are the manager of an esports team. And if any of your players cut out or die, actually no, if their characters die, that doesn't matter. What matters is if their internet gives out and they disconnect, or if they get tricked into Alt F4ing out of their game, then you've got to slot in a new player. It is not worth it to try and win this game. The only goal is to complete it, and so I'm keeping an eye on the player with the lowest skill level so I can slot them in case one of the players disconnects here. Oh, speaking of, there we go. So the next one will be A, B, C, D, E. So I got to make sure to memorize E for the next one to come in. I've put in the effort and tried winning a few times, and it's just not worth it. The time that you spend looking at the skill levels and the energy levels and that stuff is just time that could be spent slotting in someone as quickly as possible and losing as quickly as possible. There's an over-under of about a minute for the fastest and slowest that you can complete this game. Anyway, so there was the Frog Fractions 2 ARG, and then people started noticing these weird symbols showing up in like 24 unrelated indie games. I don't remember specifically which ones. I think, I don't know. I should probably look up some of them before the actual run here, but I do know that the key to this ARG was in Firewatch, where there was a page you could find that had a bunch of letters strewn about, and all these weird little circular symbols hidden in these other games linked up to each other, and they spelt a secret key that could be put into a Frog Fractions 2 website. So people eventually found out that this iSigil ARG was tied to Frog Fractions 2 as well. At some point, somebody got mailed a big button. A big red button was told, hey, live stream yourself pushing this. And when they did, an update happened on Steam for a game called Glittermitten Grove. It was a huge update, way bigger than the game's original file size. The update notes had a bunch of little terms and stuff that were related to the Frog Fractions 2 ARG. So is this Frog Fractions 2? We'll see, but first we got a corn story.
Quick cash to pay for a sexy tattoo. Corn PHP ninja Todd Redfoggle formed a crack team to rob the Belvedere, Maryland municipal
Maryland mentioned.
plant.
That's where the MagFest is at. Oh,
In 2007, Korn lead singer
that arrow doesn't always show up there. That will become relevant later. But anyway, now we're back in the cathedral. If there is an incentive for beard type, I'm gonna need it pretty quick here. There we go. And whoever joined on Discord, if you want to say a type of beard for me to shave into the president here, then I can go for it.
The votes are in. Make it goofy.
Who's okay? All right, we're just kind of doing a goofy beard. Sure, just real whatever goofy means. I apparently goofy just means patchy to me. Patchy the pirate, Goofy the dog, everyone's favorite characters. Ben 10. You know?
Ben 10.
You know, Ben 10, he's got a big beard, right? Who am I thinking of?
He
Oh no,
does
I'm thinking of
eventually.
Ben from Loading Ready Run.
I mean, he does eventually.
Does he?
Yeah, like his adult form.
Dude,
Ben 10,000.
does Gwen have an adult form? Right. Oh, the internet. What have
Oh,
you
the
done?
internet.
Man, our guy's not looking so... He looks like, he looks like he got kicked out of Motorhead. Jeez. Now, Gage, you may not make it. You may not. You know, if you're able to tune into the live event, it's at like 7 a.m. Pacific on next Saturday. But I may. So the plan. Cover your ears if there's anyone else watching on stream here. I believe the plan is we're gonna have an incentive for people to like vote for a beard style, and then I'll shave Obama on the first one, and then I'll shave it into me on the second one for the rest of the fucking game.
That's cute.
Yeah. That was just a hair on my coffee. Delightful. Legend of the Hero. Hero dos segmentius subforovermius. Segmented leech, stealing worm. An upright walking leech with semi-translucent skin and a large gaping mouth, stands 1 to 3 meters tall. Attracted to shiny objects, it will readily take money and equipment such as shields. Can live on land or underwater. Hang on, minigame's over. This is a book about Zelda monsters.
Oh, was the other one?
Yeah, it's got
Oh, is it
fun
a Lake Lake?
artwork and shit. It is. Yeah, they got to be coy because I don't think it's like approved by Nintendo. You know. Oh shit! There's a bomb on the presidential tour bus. Oh, but they forgot to set the timer, so it doesn't really matter. But you can. So if you don't put the foam down, then you wind up with a bunch of little cuts on Obama's face, and you can also cut up the face of the bomb. So that's a lot of fun. Give me some scratchies. But I digress. This game's about a 5.5-minute auto scroller. You know, there's no way to make it, you know, beat it any faster or slower. All you can do is match the text when it shows up. Here we go. I think so far it's going fairly well. All right, back to it. Here. Habitat. Beaches, freshwater, caverns, and dungeons. Diet, inorganic materials such as iron and gems. Take care not to get swallowed if in its territory. This creature is not only a physical threat, but can also steal belongings. It is possible to recover stolen possessions if the creature is immediately dispatched before it can fully digest them. If swallowed, it is advisable to thrash about, as the creature will eventually spit out anything inside that is moving. It can be stunned with projectile weapons. Threat 4 out of 10. Oh, there's a little shot of it digesting a shield.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's nice artwork in this game. I think I have one about Pokemon. Yeah, Field Guide to Kanto. It's got the first 151 Pokemon in it.
Oh,
And-
yeah,
and-
you showed me that one.
Yeah, I was reading through that one, and so this is by the same folks. The Field Guide to Kanto does have a final page about Missing No, which is fun.
Oh.
So like a artistic depiction of Missing No, the weird rectangle. Stick with me, kid. I'll buy you a liquor. You ain't nothing but a hound dog.
Do the Walter White. I couldn't think of it. That's why I said with Goofy. I couldn't
Man,
think of
America's
anything.
so
I went
great.
blank.
I wish Obama was real. Fish. Wait, yeah. Cornupisca pinosa, horned fish, bony finned. A large, vicious purple fish with rocky skin and large spikes at the tip of its nose. Typical specimens measure roughly 2 meters in length, but gigantic specimens exist which have grown up to 10 meters long. This aggressive shark rams any target in a boat or on a nearby platform. Fiercely territorial, it will attack anything that invades its domain. It generally lives and hunts in packs. Cannibalism is common. Habitat, oceans. Diet, wide carnivorous diet. Even an individual can pose a threat. Dispatch from a distance using a projectile. Threat 3 out of 10. And I will put that away here, because we're back in the game here. Okay, let me roll this back up, put that away. Okay. Shaving story. So when you exit shaving story, there's a alarm clock that you get, and when the alarm hits midnight, then it restarts and you respawn back at the starting cave of the game. We decided to we were trying to figure out if there'd be anything useful in the routing there. I say we. I'm the only guy who did anything with it. But it turned out to be better to pick up this time machine down here, turn the clock from PM to AM. Wow, I managed to dodge that trap. Okay.
All 4 members of Korn turned 35 in the early 2000s.
And that actually lines up very nicely with the next minigame we got to get to, which unlocks at 12:30.
On the Rush Hour Rodeo and renounced their U.S. citizenship to declare
The room that I picked up.
Metal Planet 1013 FM as a publicity stunt.
The room that I picked up the time machine in is the frog room, and it's got the frog from Frog Fractions in it. It's a little O with an umlaut over it. And the letters, the symbols we've been picking up are words in the frog's language. Brief, photosensitivity warning coming up. This game's got some weird flashing in it. Oh, it's not even open yet. Ooh, that's the first time I've actually been ahead of Spaxorus New Game Plus. So in Spaxorus New Game Plus, our roommate is Dave the Slender Man, and we want to make him move out, but he's a lot more easygoing than Todd the Xenomorph was. But we're still going to be, stealing all of his stuff. Usually just kind of messing around in his room is the fastest way to bug him. You want to make sure that the screen glitching effect is not going on when you beat the game. Otherwise, it will not go away, and you're sort of stuck with it until you're done with the game, which is very unpleasant. And now we're doing sort of the final cleanup section, so there's going to be a lot of Korn stories interrupting each other, which is unfortunate. I know we all love hearing all the exploits of the, 75 members of Korn, but we got to go fast. So, cut that off, cut that off. You'll at least hear some of the fun names that the Korn members have.
Sergio Van Lukenstein thought especially highly of the B-side, Falling Water, writing that including an entire house with the album is a
now this room is another Adventure Atari reference. It was the first Easter egg, or at least widely regarded as the first Easter egg in gaming. Warren Robinette put his name into Adventure in Atari. That name has nothing to do with this game. It's just there for the sake of reference.
And broadcasting the song on all 16 channels, even Emergency Channel 9, which is reserved for heartwarming pick-me-ups like Friday I'm in Love. After Cliff's arrest, Korn CEO Sylvia Plath.
I think Sylvia Plath's an actual person. A lot of these names are jokes about actual people.
Wanting to be equitable,
there we
he
go.
bought a drafting table and a slide rule to figure out how to make out with both of them at
Oops.
once.
I bisected the centipede, and now there's 2 centipedes, and it's a little bit troublesome. I'm gonna get to that music note. I can't get to MagFest! Alright.
Korn double bassist Warren Gamaliel Harding.
And then Warren Harding was a U.S. president. I live in Canada. I know so much more about U.S. presidents than our prime ministers.
The gang secretly began following.
Alright.
Calling his own name, Korn bassist. Right before turning 40, Korn sous chef Elsinore Barrier Reef petitioned. Receiving a pallet of boxes from Coca-Cola Corporation, Korn argued over what to call it. Turntablist Pled Clackham called it Pop.
Okay, and now we are done with our main cleanup tasks. We've only got 3 symbols left we got to pick up. And we're going to finally befriend this frog. So we can tell him, okay, push the blue crate. Our goal is to get the water symbol that's down there. Get the key. So we got to do a puzzle by proxy of this frog. Oh, okay, hang on. Push the red crate. And usually you'd be spending quite a bit of time in this room figuring out what the different symbols mean through context. We tell the frog to give a gorilla, or a pear to that gorilla that showed up to get him to go away. Then we tell him to push the red box. He gets an angry phone call from his wife. We tell her, okay, you can eat your pet goldfish for dinner. His wife's a cat, and she doesn't want to eat pears for dinner. And finally, we got the water symbol. We tell the frog, hey, I want to hang out. Come on over. And we have our purple water symbol. There's only 1 left. I'll be picking up soon. There's going to be some more screen glitching and flickering and stuff coming up here, so just a warning on that. we are doing the final gauntlet segment, which has a bunch of different alternate overworlds that we encounter throughout the course of the gameplay. There we go. This room has gravity in it. It usually doesn't. So we can do a little coyote jump over that that first drop there. And now we're in the Gliok room. There's a fake little Triforce section. Come on. There we go. And now we have all the symbols, which means that we have access to the dev room if we want to go back and find it. Now I got it blown up.
At the hospital, doctors reassured him that a dog
I'm getting some
sound
bad
is cleaner than a human.
bomb spawns, but that's all right. We're doing fine. We're doing fine. So I played this game, you know, 5 or 6 years ago probably, and it had already been out for about 3 years. There was nothing for speedruns on it. There were some really hard to find YouTube videos that I eventually dug up, but there was nothing on speedrun.com, anything like that. And when I played it, I thought, hey, I bet you could beat this in about a half hour. It's a fun game. It's got a lot of wacky, mini games and a lot of great routing opportunities. And no one had done it, so I finally decided, hey, screw it. No one's putting this together. I'll do it. And so that's, wait, hang on. Time is on the next screen here. Time is coming up. Time. Boom. And apparently that's a world record. So there we go. All right, Frog Fractions 3. There's your answer. It is not Frog Fractions 2. It is, in fact, the third game. The devs consider Frog Fractions 2 to be the Kickstarter ARG, and then this was considered part of it. What I was just saying was that if you're playing a game and you're thinking, why is no one running this thing? There might just not be any good reason. Put it together yourself, run the game, put it up on Speedrun. It's not, it's something you can do. Anybody can do that. And then you get a free world record out of it. So, hey, that's a lot of fun. Shouts out to Mostly Tiger Proof and Twinbeard, the devs of this game. A lot of fun stuff. Frog Fractions is a great series. There is a fourth one, technically. They released the browser game on Steam for free. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, but there's DLC you can pay for, 10 bucks or something, and that gets you Hop's iconic cap, and he never wore a cap, and so he is wearing a hat, and it just throws the game off the rails, and it goes in a completely different direction, and it's a lot of fun. These assistant to the assistant directors are all of the Kickstarter backers for Frog Fractions 2, and the background song's just a banger. You gotta love this ballad. My Heart Divided. I forget the name of the musician, but the soundtrack's on Bandcamp. We'll speed through it here. I got some fun stuff that I can show you just outside of the game. I believe we've got some time set aside for it, but if you wait for the credits, I think after 20 minutes or so, it pops up with a "Are you still watching?" Like it's just a copy of the Netflix "Are you still watching?" screen. If you fell asleep in front of the TV or whatever. And I think it's like 20 hours or something if you want to sit through the entire thing. I might be wrong on the numbers there, but the fast forward button seems to be stuck. The game's kind of lagging out. I guess it fast forwarded a bit harder than we intended, but that's all right. Yeah? No? Oh boy. Uh-oh. Well, if we got any donations, now would be a good time for them, or info about upcoming games or incentives would all be fun. Anyone viewing at home, the bit rate, this is the frame rate that the game's going at currently. Don't adjust your screens. This is what you're seeing. Time seems to be blinking by pretty quick, but I mean, it's still going, so our fairy village is probably doing all right. I mean, maybe we've finally got our 50 fairies and have beaten the base Glittermitten Grove game by this point. And none of this stuff's advertised on the Steam page. Like, it is a fully fleshed out, fairy game that you buy, and then, it's also got all these layers of helium and hydrogen, apparently. Oh, great. Okay, well, I don't think that Round 9ville, or whatever our village was named, is doing so great these days, but maybe Titania's got some good news for us. Oh, wait, no. Guessant. Can I just, like... Oh, yeah, I can't collapse it back into the corner, but you gotta dismiss it. And there we go. That is Glittermitten Grove. What's the deal with Spaxrus? They got some fun episode titles. Or some fun song names. and the artificial frame rate dip doesn't go away. You have to quit out and start up a game of Glittermitten Grove again in order to get the frame rate back to where it's supposed to be. There we go. Let me, hang on. I had to spawn in 192 fairies. There are a bunch of shortcuts. A bunch of codes you can do. They're pretty fun. Let me build a house here. No? She's not even gonna build the house? Oh, they're all starving. Uh-oh. Oh, are they doing it? They're gonna build a house? Come on. Build that house. No? Oh. Our fairies have a house. Yay! We can type, oh no, and make them blow up. Wow. That one's an actual, that one's actual lag, not the fake lag from the ending. We can type in the blood code, which, you know, that's fun. I think to end it off, we'll activate no clip. So there we go. I think I'm doing pretty good. I think I'm all right and ready for Glittermitten. I'll say goodnight, stream. Because I should probably check back on that VOD and make sure that this record gets uploaded. So, good night, stream.